Frasier gave us polished jokes, elegant apartments, radiotherapy, and one of the sharpest sitcom families ever written. But behind the laughter were stories far more complicated than the punchlines. Fame, heartbreak, private struggles, unexpected exits, and emotional goodbyes followed the cast long after Seattle faded from the screen. Today we look back at the Frasier cast, then and now, and uncover what happened after the final call ended. Chapter 2. Kelsey Grammer. Dr. Frasier Crane didn't just move from Cheers into his own show. He became one of television's most enduring portraits of intelligence, loneliness, and comic self-importance. Kelsey Grammer, born in 1955, was 38 when Frasier premiered in 1993, bringing back the cultured psychiatrist with expensive tastes, fragile pride, and an endless need to understand everyone but himself. Frasier mattered because beneath the opera, wine, and polished language was a man still searching for love, approval, and peace. His relationship with Niles, his clashes with Martin, and his radio advice show turned personal insecurity into some round of the sharpest comedy of the 1990s. After Frasier, Grammer continued working across television, film, animation, and stage, while also living through public struggles, personal tragedies, and a complicated off-screen life that often drew attention. He later returned to the role in the Frasier revival, giving the character another chapter decades after Seattle. In 2026, Kelsey Grammer is 71. Frasier's legacy endures because he showed that even the most educated voice in the room can still be the person most desperate to be heard. Chapter 3. David Hyde Pierce. Dr. Niles Crane gave Frasier its most delicate balance of elegance, anxiety, and hidden heartbreak. David Hyde Pierce, born in 1959, was 34 when the series premiered in 1993, playing Frasier's younger brother with surgical comic precision. Niles was refined, neurotic, competitive, and deeply vulnerable. But what made him unforgettable was the way Pierce turned tiny gestures into full emotional confessions. A glance toward Daphne, a panicked pause, or a perfectly timed correction could say more than an entire speech. His long, slow-burning love for Daphne became the emotional heartbeat of the show, while his rivalry and affection with Frasier gave the series its sharpest rhythm. After Frasier, Pierce built a respected career largely on his own terms. He returned to theater, won acclaim on Broadway, directed, acted in television and film, and chose not to return as a regular for the 2023 revival, allowing Niles to remain preserved in the original era. In 2026, David Hyde Pierce is 67. Niles' legacy endures because he made repression funny, longing heartbreaking, and awkwardness feel almost graceful. Chapter 4. Perry Gilpin Roz Doyle brought Frasier back down to earth whenever the Crane brothers floated too far into opera, wine, and wounded pride. Perry Gilpin, born in 1961, was 32 when the series premiered in 1993, playing Frasier's sharp-tongued radio producer with confidence, humor, and a deeply modern independence. Roz mattered because she was never simply the woman behind the microphone. She was bold, funny, professionally capable, and unashamed of living life on her own terms. Her friendship with Frasier gave the show one of its most honest, emotional anchors, built on teasing, loyalty, and quiet respect. After Frasier, Gilpin continued working in television, film, and voice acting while remaining warmly connected to the show's legacy. She appeared in later projects across comedy and drama, and eventually returned for the Frasier revival, giving longtime fans a meaningful glimpse of Roz years later. In 2026, Perry Gilpin is 65. Roz's legacy endures because she proved that the smartest person in the room is not always the one with the degrees. Sometimes it is the one who sees through everyone. Chapter 5. John Mahoney Martin Crane gave Frasier its soul. John Mahoney, born in 1940, was 53 when the series premiered in 1993, playing Frasier and Niles' retired police officer father with warmth, blunt honesty, and quiet emotional depth. Martin mattered because he was the opposite of his sons in almost every visible way. He loved beer, baseball, simple food, his worn recliner, and his dog Eddie. Yet beneath that working-class exterior was a man carrying grief, injury, pride, and a deep longing to reconnect with his children. His presence turned Frasier from a clever comedy into a family story about class, regret, and love expressed imperfectly. After the show, Mahoney continued acting on stage and screen, returning often to theater, where he had built a respected career long before becoming a sitcom father. He lived more privately than many television stars, earning admiration for his craft rather than celebrity spectacle. He passed away in 2018 at 77. Martin Crane's legacy endures because he reminded viewers that home is not elegance or success. Sometimes it is an old chair, a loyal dog, and the father you finally learn to understand. Chapter 6, Dan Butler, Bob Bulldog Briscoe brought loud, reckless energy into the refined world of Frasier. Dan Butler, born in 1954, was 39 when the series premiered in 1993, playing the swaggering sports host at KACL, whose confidence often hid something more fragile underneath. Bulldog mattered because he was comic chaos in human form. Aggressive, childish, competitive, and strangely vulnerable when the noise dropped away. His catchphrases, failed romances, and desperate attempts to protect his ego made him more than a one-note office clown. He worked because Butler let the audience glimpse insecurity beneath the bravado. After Frasier, Butler continued a strong career in television, film, and especially theater, where his intensity and timing found new outlets. He also became known for work connected to LGBTQ themes and performance, using his platform in ways that went beyond sitcom fame. In 2026, Dan Butler is 72. Bulldog's legacy endures because he showed that behind every booming voice and oversized ego, there may be someone quietly afraid of being dismissed. Chapter 7, Tom McGowan. Kenny Daly brought a softer, more uncertain kind of comedy to KACL. Tom McGowan, born in 1959, was 39 when he joined Frasier in 1998, playing the station manager who often seemed overwhelmed by the personalities around him. Kenny mattered because he was not arrogant, brilliant, or theatrical like many of the show's biggest characters. He was kind, insecure, eager to keep the peace, and frequently out of his depth, which made him strangely relatable. His presence gave the radio station a warmer rhythm, adding workplace humor without overpowering the main ensemble. After Frasier, McGowan continued a steady career across television, film, and Broadway, appearing in comedies, dramas, and stage productions that benefited from his natural sincerity. He remained the kind of actor who could make supporting roles feel grounded and human even when surrounded by larger personalities. In 2026, Tom McGowan is 67. Kenny's legacy endures because he represented the ordinary person trying to manage extraordinary egos and somehow still remain decent. Chapter 8, Edward Hibbert Gil Chesterton turned food criticism into theater. Edward Hibbert, born in 1955, was 39 when he joined Frasier, bringing elegance, sharp timing, and flamboyant wit to the KACL restaurant critic. Gil mattered because he made every line feel polished, dramatic, and slightly wicked. He was a satire of snobbery, but Hibbert played him with such control and charm that Gil never felt hollow. His presence added texture to the radio station, giving Frasier's world another voice of refinement, vanity, and comic excess. After Frasier, Hibbert continued a distinguished career on stage, screen, and in voice work, while also becoming highly respected in the literary world as an agent. That second career gave his public life a rare sophistication beyond acting, connecting him to storytelling from another side of the industry. He remained admired for his theater roots and unmistakable delivery. In 2026, Edward Hibbert is 71. Gil's legacy endures because he proved that even a supporting character can become unforgettable when every word is served like a perfect course. Chapter 9, Patrick Kerr. Noel Shempsky gave Frasier one of its most awkward and oddly touching comic figures. Patrick Kerr, born in 1956, was 38 when he first appeared on the series, playing the nervous KACL employee whose devotion to science fiction and hopeless crush on Roz made him instantly memorable. Noel mattered because he brought outsider energy into a workplace filled with polished voices and inflated egos. He was strange, obsessive, socially clumsy, and often embarrassing, but there was also innocence beneath the awkwardness. His love of Star Trek, his failed attempts at romance, and his anxious loyalty made him a small but beloved part of the show's world. After Frasier, Kerr continued working in television and theater, often appearing in roles that used his distinctive comic timing and offbeat presence. He built a steady career rather than a flashy one, remaining recognizable to fans who remembered how much personality he could bring to brief scenes. In 2026, Patrick Kerr is 70. Noel's legacy endures because he reminded viewers that even the oddest person in the office still wants to be seen, loved, and taken seriously. Chapter 10, Millicent Martin Gertrude Moon brought chaos, complaint, and sharp British bite into the Crane household. Millicent Martin, born in 1934, was 66 when she joined Frasier in 2000, playing Daphne's dramatic mother with comic force and theatrical precision. Gertrude mattered because she disrupted the careful emotional balance around Daphne and Niles. She was meddling, difficult, loud, and often exhausting, but Martin gave her enough humanity to keep her from becoming only a caricature. Behind the complaints was loneliness, dependence, and the fear of being left behind. After Frasier, Martin continued to be celebrated for a long career that stretched across British television, American television, theater, and music. Long before Gertrude, she had already built a respected reputation as a performer with timing, voice, and versatility. Her later work introduced her to new audiences, while longtime fans continued to appreciate her stage command. In 2026, Millicent Martin is 92. Gertrude's legacy endures because she brought family messiness into the fantasy of romance, reminding us that love stories rarely arrive without relatives at the door. Chapter 11. Saul Rubinek, Donnie Douglas, became one of Frasier's most sympathetic casualties of timing. Saul Rubinek, born in 1948, was 51 when he joined the series in 1999, playing Daphne's kind, funny, and deeply human fiancé. Donnie mattered because he was not a villain standing in the way of Niles and Daphne. He was lovable, generous, and genuinely devoted, which made his heartbreak more painful. His presence forced the show to admit that romantic destiny can still hurt innocent people. Rubinek played Donnie with warmth and humor, making the character's humiliation and loss feel real beneath the comedy. After Frasier, Rubinek continued a prolific career as an actor, director, writer, and producer across film and television. He became known to later audiences through roles in projects like Warehouse 13, while maintaining a reputation as a thoughtful and versatile performer. In 2026, Saul Rubinek is 78. Donnie's legacy endures because he reminded viewers that in every great love story, someone else may be quietly left behind. Chapter 12. Bebe Neuwirth. Dr. Lilith Sternin made every room colder, sharper, and instantly funnier the moment she arrived. Baby Neuwirth, born in 1958, was 34 when Frasier premiered in 1993, returning as Frasier's brilliant ex-wife after first defining the role on Cheers. Lilith mattered because she was not written as simply icy or intimidating. Her deadpan wit, intelligence, and emotional restraint concealed vulnerability, loneliness, and complicated love. She could destroy Frasier with one perfectly delivered sentence. Yet her appearances often revealed unfinished affection and the difficulty of two brilliant people who could understand everything except each other. After Frasier, Neuwirth continued an exceptional career on Broadway, television, and film, earning admiration as one of the great stage performers of her generation. Her work in musicals, drama, and comedy showed a range far beyond the role that made her famous to sitcom audiences. In 2026, Bebe Neuwirth is 68. Lilith's legacy endures because she proved that stillness can be devastating and that the sharpest comedy sometimes comes from the deepest control. Chapter 13. Harriet Sansom Harris. Bebe Glazer gave Frasier one of its most deliciously dangerous comic forces. Harriet Sansom Harris, born in 1955, was 38 when she first played Frasier's ruthless talent agent, turning ambition into something almost theatrical. Bebe mattered because she was not just pushy. She was temptation in designer clothing, the person who could make Frasier abandon principle while convincing him it was his own idea. Her charm, manipulation, and dramatic flair made every appearance feel like a small moral emergency. After Frasier, Harris continued a strong career across television, film, and especially theater, earning respect as a performer with sharp timing and fearless presence. She appeared in acclaimed projects from Broadway to prestige television, often bringing intelligence and unpredictability to every role. In 2026, Harriet Sansom Harris is 71. Bebe's legacy endures because she reminded viewers that the funniest villains are not always cruel. Sometimes they simply know exactly what you want. Chapter 14. Jane Addams. Dr. Mel Karnofsky entered Frasier as a woman who seemed elegant, intelligent, and perfectly suited for Niles, until control became impossible to ignore. Jane Addams, born in 1965, was 34 when she first played Mel in 1999. Bringing sharpness and emotional tension to one of the show's most uncomfortable relationships. Mel mattered because she complicated the fairy tale pull between Niles and Daphne. She was not written as foolish. She was successful, refined, and capable, which made her emotional hold on Niles more believable. Her presence forced the show to admit that love stories often leave damage behind. After Frasier, Addams built a respected career in independent film, television, and theater, known for performances that often carry nervous intelligence, vulnerability, and emotional honesty. She appeared in acclaimed dramas and comedies, choosing roles with texture rather than simple glamour. In 2026, Jane Addams is 61. Mel's legacy endures because she represented the painful chapter before happiness, the person who proves that timing can wound almost as deeply as betrayal. Chapter 15. Wendy Malick, Roni Lawrence brought music, confidence, and late-life romance into Martin Crane's world. Wendy Malick, born in 1950, was 53 when she joined Frasier in 2003. playing the free-spirited lounge singer who once babysat Frasier and Niles, then unexpectedly became Martin's final great love. Roni mattered because she gave Martin a future that felt warm, funny, and deserved. She was sharp, relaxed, and worldly in a way that balanced his gruff simplicity without trying to change him. Her arrival helped the final season feel like a farewell not only to old routines but to loneliness. After Frasier, Malick continued an impressively active career in television, film, and voice acting. She remained beloved for Just Shoot Me, Hot in Cleveland, animation work, and countless guest roles that used her dry wit and graceful confidence. In 2026, Wendy Malick is 76. Roni's legacy endures because she showed that love does not belong only to the young. Sometimes it arrives later with a song, a joke, and a second chance. Chapter 16. Felicity Huffman. Julia Wilcox brought sharp edges to Frasier's final season. Felicity Huffman, born in 1962, was 41 when she joined the series in 2003, playing the opinionated KACL personality whose chemistry with Frasier quickly turned from conflict into romance. Julia mattered because she challenged Frasier's need to be admired. She was blunt, difficult, intelligent, and often emotionally guarded, making her less of an ideal match and more of a mirror to his own arrogance. Their relationship burned quickly because neither could fully stop performing superiority. After Frasier, Huffman rose to major fame through Desperate Housewives, earning acclaim and awards recognition, and later continued dramatic work in television and film. Her public life also became complicated by the college admissions scandal, a controversy that changed how many viewers saw her off-screen story. In 2026, Felicity Huffman is 64. Julia's legacy on Frasier remains brief but memorable because she showed that attraction can be sharp, exciting, and still completely wrong. Chapter 17. Trevor Einhorn Frederick Crane gave Frasier a reminder that even the most eloquent psychiatrist could struggle with fatherhood. Trevor Einhorn, born in 1988, was just 8 when he first played Frederick, the son of Frasier Crane and Lilith Sternin. Frederick mattered because he exposed Frasier's softer and more insecure side. Raised mostly in Boston, he entered Seattle as both a beloved child and a source of anxiety for a father desperate to connect. His changing interests, intelligence, and awkward adolescence gave the series small but important glimpses of family beyond Frasier's apartment. After Frasier, Einhorn continued acting into adulthood, appearing in television projects such as Mad Men and later gaining a stronger genre following through The Magicians. Unlike many child actors who vanished completely, he built a quieter but steady career, moving from sitcom son to more mature roles. In 2026, Trevor Einhorn is 38. Frederick's legacy endures because he reminded viewers that Frasier could advise strangers every day, yet still struggle to understand the child who needed him most. Chapter 18. Anthony LaPaglia. Simon Moon brought chaos from Daphne's family straight into the Crane household. Anthony LaPaglia, born in 1959, was 41 when he first appeared as Simon in 2000, playing Daphne's irresponsible older brother with loud confidence, reckless charm, and very little self-awareness. Simon mattered because he disrupted the polished world of Frasier and Niles with shameless disorder. He drank too much, overstayed his welcome, flirted badly, and made every room feel less controlled. But beneath the comedy was a reminder that Daphne came from a family as messy and demanding as anyone else's. After Frasier, LaPaglia continued a major acting career across television, film, and theater. He became especially known for his lead role in Without a Trace, as well as acclaimed work in Lantana and stage productions that showed his dramatic range. In 2026, Anthony LaPaglia is 67. Simon's legacy endures because he proved that sometimes the most embarrassing relative is also the one who makes a perfect life impossible to fake. Chapter 19. Jean Smart Lana Gardner returned from Frasier's past like a storm he never quite knew how to handle. Jean Smart, born in 1951, was 49 when she first played Lana, a fiery former high school crush whose confidence and temper clashed perfectly with Frasier's polished self-image. Lana mattered because she stripped away his refinement. Around her, Frasier became younger, more nervous, and less in control, revealing the insecure man beneath the sophisticated voice. She was loud, passionate, funny, and impossible to romanticize too neatly. After Frasier, Smart's career only grew richer. Already respected from earlier television work, she went on to deliver acclaimed performances in 24, Fargo, Watchmen, Mayor of Easttown, and especially Hacks, becoming one of the great late-career success stories in American television. In 2026, John Smart is 75. Lana's legacy endures because she reminded viewers that the past does not always return softly. Sometimes it kicks the door open and tells the truth. Chapter 20. Marsha Mason's Sherry Dempsey brought laughter, noise, and discomfort into the Crane family's carefully curated world. Marsha Mason, born in 1942, was 55 when she first played Sherry in 1997, giving Martin Crane a girlfriend whose warmth and volume made Frasier and Niles quietly horrified. Sherry mattered because she revealed the brothers' snobbery with brutal comic clarity. She was fun, affectionate, and unapologetically herself, yet they judged her because she did not fit their idea of elegance. Her relationship with Martin showed how much joy he still wanted even when his sons could not understand it. After Frasier, Mason continued a distinguished career in film, television, and theater, building on decades of acclaimed performances and Oscar-nominated work. She remained active on stage and screen, respected for emotional honesty and natural charm. In 2026, Marsha Mason is 84. Sherry's legacy endures because she reminded viewers that happiness does not always arrive with refinement. Sometimes it arrives laughing too loudly. Chapter 21. Brian Klugman, Kirby Gardner brought youthful aimlessness into Frasier's world of ambition and achievement. Brian Klugman, born in 1975, was 26 when he first played Kirby in 2001, the laid-back son of Lana Gardner who seemed to drift through life with little urgency. Kirby mattered because he forced Frasier into an unexpected mentor role. At first, he looked like a slacker, but beneath the laziness was a good-hearted young man who simply had not found direction. His scenes with Frasier gave the show a different kind of comedy. Not intellectual rivalry, but generational confusion and reluctant guidance. After Frasier, Klugman continued working as an actor, writer, and director, building a creative career both in front of and behind the camera. He appeared in television and film while also developing projects as a storyteller, showing a broader interest in the craft beyond performance alone. In 2026, Brian Klugman is 51. Kirby's legacy endures because he reminded viewers that potential often looks unimpressive before someone takes the time to notice it. Chapter 22. Laura Linney Charlotte gave Frasier Crane one of his most hopeful final chapters. Laura Linney, born in 1964, was 39 when she joined Frasier in its final season, playing the struggling matchmaker who unexpectedly became a genuine romantic possibility. Charlotte mattered because she brought softness without illusion. She was warm, grounded, and imperfect. Someone who saw Frasier not as a grand intellectual performance, but as a lonely man, still willing to risk his heart. Their connection gave the finale emotional weight, suggesting that love might still be possible after years of failure. After Frasier, Linney continued an extraordinary career across film, television, and theater, earning acclaim for projects like The Big C, John Adams, Ozark, and numerous dramatic roles. Her performances became known for intelligence, restraint, and emotional truth. In 2026, Laura Linney is 62. Charlotte's legacy endures because she represented the great question at the end of Frasier's journey, whether a man who gave advice about love could finally be brave enough to follow it. Chapter 23. Mercedes Ruehl, Kate Costas brought friction, ambition, and real romantic heat to KACL. Mercedes Ruehl, born in 1948, was 47 when she played Kate in 1995, the tough station manager who refused to be intimidated by Frasier's ego. Kate mattered because she challenged him professionally and emotionally. Their arguments had rhythm, intelligence, and danger, turning workplace conflict into one of the show's most charged short-term romances. She was not there to flatter Frasier. She pushed back, and that made their chemistry feel alive. After Frasier, Ruehl continued a distinguished career across film, television, and theater, building on an already acclaimed body of work that included award-winning performances and decades of serious craft. She remained respected as an actress capable of warmth, steel, comedy, and deep emotion. In 2026, Mercedes Ruehl is 78. Kate's legacy endures because she reminded viewers that Frasier was often most interesting when someone refused to be impressed by him. Chapter 24. Amy Brenneman, Faye Moskowitz seemed like one of Frasier's most promising chances at happiness. Amy Brenneman, born in 1964, was 34 when she appeared as Faye in 1998, playing the intelligent pastry chef whose warmth and sophistication felt unusually well matched with him. Faye mattered because she represented possibility without chaos. She was kind, capable, and emotionally appealing, yet Frasier's own neurotic patterns still found a way to complicate things. Her storyline showed one of the show's recurring truths. Frasier often wanted love, but struggled when love became real rather than imagined. After Frasier, Brenneman continued a strong career in television and film, becoming widely known for judging Amy, Private Practice, The Leftovers, and other roles that blended intelligence with emotional depth. She also became active as a writer, producer, and public voice on social issues. In 2026, Amy Brenneman is 62. Faye's legacy endures because she showed that sometimes the right person can appear and still be lost to timing, fear, and overthinking. Chapter 25. Shelley Long Diane Chambers carried the weight of Frasier Crane's past. Shelley Long, born in 1949, was 45 when she reprised the role on Frasier, bringing back the brilliant, dramatic, and emotionally complicated woman who had first defined so much of his life on Cheers. Diane mattered because she was more than a guest appearance. She was unfinished history. Her return reopened old wounds, old affection, and the painful truth that Frasier's romantic patterns did not begin in Seattle. Long played Diane with the same mixture of intellect, theatricality, vulnerability, and self-delusion that made her iconic years earlier. After Frasier, Long continued acting in television and film, though Diane Chambers remained her defining role for many viewers. Her career became closely tied to one of sitcom history's most famous characters, a blessing and a shadow that followed her for decades. In 2026, Shelley Long is 77. Diane's legacy endures because she reminded us that some people never fully leave our lives. They remain as echoes, lessons, and unfinished conversations. Chapter 26. Jane Leaves and Conclusion. Daphne Moon brought mystery, warmth, and emotional brightness into the Crane apartment. Jane Leaves, born in 1961, was 32 when Frasier premiered in 1993, playing the English physical therapist whose charm, odd psychic impressions, and kindness softened the show's sharper edges. Daphne mattered because she was both eccentric and deeply sincere. She cared for Martin, confused Frasier, captivated Niles, and slowly became the emotional center of a household that did not know how much it needed her. Her romance with Niles became one of television's great slow-burn love stories, built through glances, longing, and years of almost saying the truth. After Frasier, Leaves continued a successful television career, especially with Hot in Cleveland, where she reached another generation of sitcom viewers. She also stayed active in producing and later returned to television drama with The Resident. In 2026, Jane Leaves is 65. Daphne's legacy endures because she showed that kindness is not naivety. Sometimes it is the quiet force that changes every room it enters. And that is the story of the Frasier cast, the brilliant comedians, stage actors, scene stealers, and familiar voices who turned sharp dialogue into television history. Some continued to shine on screen and stage. Some chose quieter lives. And some are sadly no longer with us, leaving behind performances that feel warmer with time. But the calls to Dr. Frasier Crane never really ended. They still echo through every laugh, every awkward family dinner, and every lonely heart trying to be understood. Tell us in the comments which Frasier character do you miss the most?